Welcome. It's a nice Wednesday afternoon. It is the Four Horsemen of Fantasy podcast. My name is Gil Benhamu. Man, I wish you could hear that all day long. My name is Gil Benhamu.
Suck it, Gil!
Alongside me, Carlos Ortiz.
He's jacking his little weenus. Not at the table, Carlos.
Jack Hopkins.
We're playing this game according to Master Jack's rules. Bad form.
And last, but actually the least, Nicholas Romeo.
Hey, Nicky, cover Winkler in bees.
I'm going to be talking so much smack. We play each other this week in the playoffs.
Yes, we do. Just get ready, baby. Just get ready.
Before I get started, I want to say, please give us a follow on Instagram, the number 4 Horsemen of Fantasy. Please give us a follow and also subscribe. Let's get right to it. We just finished week 14. The fantasy football regular season is officially over.
We're in playoffs, baby.
Yeah,
playoffs.
I'm sad about that.
It's been a long.
We're almost done.
I know, right? It's like, what are we gonna do now, right?
Fantasy basketball.
Oh my God!
Check out the pod for that, by the way.
Oh, that big news coming.
Big news.
Anyways, we got some pretty good stuff to talk about. As I said, the fantasy regular season is officially wrapped up. I want to talk about some things to reflect on. It's been a very nice and very fun 14 weeks, and there's been a lot of things that's been happening, whether it be good, whether it be bad, but it's worth talking about, and I wouldn't have it any other way talking to the three of you. So I'm gonna get started with Nick, actually. Nick, what do you have that you wanted to discuss as a way to reflect on this regular season?
Just one of the biggest outtakes from this regular season, just gotta be how bad the injuries have been just for like running back. I mean, just in general, but like the running backs, I think we were just talking about this last week. Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, what else? Who else do we got out here? Like we just got Derrick Henry.
Kamara was out for a month.
Like Elliott banged up. Like all your first round guys that you picked up.
Nick Chubb got COVID and got hurt as well.
Literally.
I like Naeem Hines. Just he wasn't in the top round.
No, he wasn't in the top round, but he was Jonathan Taylor's backup for a little bit. But just in general, just all these guys going down, just supposed to be like MVPs for your team are just weighing you down. You might as well just picked up guys like Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill, just avoided it. But
I feel like a lot of beneficiaries of these circumstances are the teams that have drafted late.
yeah,
People that have
you grab
drafted,
their backups.
Right, no, but if you also got Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Jonathan Taylor within the later picks of the first round, you are living.
Yeah, there were people that picked up Jonathan Taylor and Austin Eckler back to back somehow, and they're living it up in their leagues.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what the 12th pick in my team picked them up on the turn.
And that's
Eckler and Taylor
yeah.
back to back.
If you got those guys going out with each week, I don't know how you're gonna win this chip.
I agree. Let's go to Carlos. You got any ideas?
Yeah, so my little season recap, I guess, so to speak, is the fact that I talked about it for the last couple weeks, that fantasy tight end is a wasteland. If you picked up a tight end any earlier than the 5th round, that was a big mistake for you this season. I looked at a lot of teams that picked up Darren Waller, Kittle, not as of late, but earlier in the season.
Balling.
Yeah,
Mark Andrews has been pretty solid, though.
But you know,
Besides, I know that there's some definitely guys.
Yeah, but
there,
Andrews was on that cusp of like that late 4th, 5th round. So like I would have been okay where he went, because he's really the only pass option out of Baltimore. But if you picked up Kittle, you were struggling earlier in the season. If you picked up Waller, other than the very first week, that's an absolute dud. And I was big on Waller. I had him, 4 out of 5 leagues, and most of those leagues I missed the playoffs or barely made it. So outside of Travis Kelce, even then he had his struggles with Mahomes playing.
As of late, he's been struggling.
I think next year you'll see Kelce go maybe 2nd, 3rd, and then it's going to be a drop. Maybe Kittle's the only one who's keeps his current ADP compared to the start of the season and then carries over to last year. But I think next year a lot of people are going to revamp their draft strategy. You're going to see a lot of tight ends go late.
I want to say that Kittle's going to be interesting just because regardless of how well he's been playing, his health will always be a concern.
Give it to Urban Meyer messing up another tight end.
Thank you.
That's a great drop.
It's a fantastic drop. But the thing with Kittle has been his health. That's my only concern for him.
Yeah.
As for tight ends as a whole, it's not really smart to go. I've been saying it the whole offseason to my friends that Kelce is not a first round pick. And I'm kind of glad it's holding true because you've seen the lowest of the low with him.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You see 3-point games, and like you can get that with any tight end. Like I could pick up Noah Fant if I want 3 points a game.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna like kind of come in and play devil's advocate a little bit here. The one difference with Kelsey this year is you've seen a floor where his floor previously was double figures. Like he'd get 10 points.
Yeah.
The last 2 games in a row, he's had 3 catches for 27 yards. He had a 4-point outing as well. But apart from that, he was putting up 17, 18, 19s. He doesn't have the same ceiling, I don't think. Like he's not going to get over 30, which Kelsey has had the last 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, Kelsey has seen 27 targets. 22 of them he caught for 332 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like you'd be happy with your tight end doing that over a 6-week, like 8-week span. I have Kelsey in 2 leagues. I have Kittle in the other. What I like about having the top tight ends.
I am the smartest man alive!
Also, can I just say I didn't draft Kelsey anywhere or Kittle. I traded for Kelsey in 2 of my leagues, and I did draft Kittle. Sorry, but I drafted Waller in the 2 leagues. I now have Kelsey. So anyway, I like having them because I hate having to just look at the waivers and say
it's awful.
That's why I like having them. So yes, okay, they disappoint you a little bit, but there's more chance of Kelsey going out there and scoring me 15 than there is Ricky Seals-Jones this week, or Tyler Conklin or something. Like I don't want one of those guys. That's why I'm like, so I can see myself doing it again because I'm not a big fan of saying, oh, I did it last year and it didn't work. That means it won't work this year. Like I think it could because I think their value could drop more maybe, and if it does, I might scoop them up. And like if Kelsey's going to the end of second, I'd be happy to do that. You know,
my pushback on that is there's an exception to every rule. I mean, you like Kelsey because of there's a safe floor, but if you got on Dawson Knox earlier in the year, you really just. You played the gambit perfectly, where you didn't pass up on superb wide receiver talent or running back depth to plug in a tight end and hope that you have a safe floor. You got the best available player at that point, and then you scored big by getting somebody like Knox and even Conklin. Conklin's had his moments this year. You have to see what the board gives you next year. I will probably shift back because I reached for tight end a lot this year. Yeah. And I did last year. And last year I won a lot of championships. This year, not so much. I'm in the running for 2 that I feel comfortable, maybe a 3rd. So I probably will have a little bit more of a balanced draft strategy last year. But I've just overall, like you thought you had 3 premier, maybe 4 premier tight ends. And other than Kelsey, was even for his standards a little bit little, they haven't performed as much people like Hawkinson. Yeah. Hawkinson did not take a step back. Hawkinson, I probably wouldn't touch until the 8th round next year.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he's played to that value, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's not a 5th round or fourth round.
Right. If you were getting him in the 4th, 5th, you lost a lot of players by taking a chance on him.
And I think Kyle Pitts is someone that you also grab around there too.
That was a disappointment too.
Well, here's the thing. Homer here. The thing with Pitts is that he hasn't scored touchdowns. If he had done that this year, he would be lighting it up.
He's getting all the yards.
He's pretty much leading the league at the tight end position in yards. He has the most catches over 15 yards by a tight end. It's like over 20 this season. He's been really good in that aspect. He just hasn't got in the end zone.
I'll give Pitts even a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt because the talent's there. Calvin Ridley taking the mental health, good for him. Yeah. But that really did allow defenses to focus on Pitts and keep him out of the end zone as well. So I do like Pitts, but I still won't be reaching for a tight end next year.
I won't say tight ends are a wasteland like you're saying, because I feel like a lot of the tight ends are kind of just plateauing at the same spot. I would say they're just a bit more expendable. Like, obviously you could say obviously Kelsey and Kittle and Waller, for that matter, have very much not played all the way up to how we've hyped them up to be, which is kind of just the nature of the beast. But your Hawkinsons, your Mark Andrews, your Gronkowskis, so on and so forth, they've been kind of just playing right at this line where they'll give you the game you want, but I don't think you'll get a lot out of it.
Like you were picking these guys up in the first, 3rd round.
Dawson Knox wasn't drafted.
You're not getting 1st and 3rd round talent out of this. It's Kelsey, the last 2 weeks, but you weren't getting the value that you thought you were getting when you picked
your Dawson Knoxes wasn't drafted. Your Pat Freiermuths weren't drafted. Yep. So on.
The
and so
Muth
forth.
is Luth.
The Muth is so Luth.
So for me, my little bit is that I think that what we learned this year is how volatile like sports are in general. Like obviously with COVID, and I think people who benefited a lot, as in terms of fantasy managers, that I think benefited a lot this season, were people who would like us, who were just on it, like week in, week out in their leagues. Like I'm telling these guys a lot. I started 0-5 in a league, and I finished 8-6, and I went on 8-1 run because I was like, I'm not giving up. Like I know I have a good team, and like trusting that making good waiver wire picks, making a couple of trades here and there where you just kind of take a gamble. It can work out. And in a year with COVID, where a player is out because of I don't know, Nick Chubb was out that 1 week, and then Dearness Johnson went off and stuff. If you play him, you might win a week. So it's kind of like I really think that doing what we've been doing this season has helped us. It's helped me a lot, at least, because it's just made me that more like focused in on like actually paying attention to everything that's happening waiver wire wise, trading, everything. So I think like more fantasy managers can definitely learn from that. And at the end of the day, if you really want to win a fantasy championship, all you have to do is just keep playing every single week. And sometimes you're going to get bad luck, but sometimes you're going to get good. So
it's just doing your due diligence. But with that said, Nick, what's the name he just said?
Dearness Johnson.
Nice, well done.
Thank you.
I like Naomi Hines. Just
took 5 or 6 weeks.
Samuel of the San Francisco 49ers.
This is never going to end. To be honest, that's exactly, it's just doing your due diligence, doing your homework. And for me, I just think one thing that I want to discuss specifically, or just two, more importantly, were people that we had no idea were chasing history.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp. What on earth happened with the Rams that made Cooper Kupp become a top 5 wide receiver?
Stafford and Kupp are breakfast buddies.
It literally, he had a quote this week. Someone asked him, like, what is it? And he was like, well, Breakfast Club helps. Like he said, and now the Rams' facility got shut down this week, so they can't have breakfast together. So Cooper Kupp is having a bad week this week. You know that,
it's going to happen now.
Oh, God. Cooper Kupp is going to cost people fantasy.
Seattle, right? Against Seattle defense? Yeah, it's going to be a bad week.
Oh, Lord. No, I just think Cooper Kupp has been quite the revelation. He was how often are you going to find somebody play like a first rounder and then you get picked in the 4th, 5th, 6th round? So
it's not even a first rounder; it's an all-timer. Like
it's beyond a first rounder. This is somebody who's
the numbers he's putting up is just ridiculous.
He's on pace to overtake Jerry Rice.
Yeah,
most fantasy points scored by a wide receiver.
It's
by
insane.
25 points. So
it's insane.
Nice.
Yes.
You guys mentioned Breakfast Club, so
talk about Jonathan Taylor.
I want to mention before that Carlos has Cooper Kupp.
He does.
He does, and
Congratulations.
How did that work out for him?
Congratulations, 5th seed.
Yeah, how's that working out for me?
Hey, I don't think you would have been there without him.
I've never felt so more of a fraud, with making the playoffs. I was in second the entire year, and then just went on an epic run of futility. The fact that I'm in the playoffs is a testament to my greatness, by believing in Cooper Kupp.
Oh my God!
I hate that stat.
Let's just talk about like in that league that we're in. Like all four of us made the playoffs. Made the 6. Between 2nd and 5th, every team was 8-6. The points scored between those 4 teams is 40. That's from 2nd to 5th. So someone got a first round bye. Joe Leo, he got a first round bye because he had 3 more points scored than Nick.
Yeah,
What that means is now Nick plays Gil this week. So
you're losing. You're losing, bud.
We'll see how it goes, man.
You're losing.
My team is dangerous, man. Dangerous
in the consolation bracket.
Watch out, baby. That's all I gotta say.
But back to Jonathan Taylor. See, the thing is, he kind of capitalized on the circumstances that being your top 3, 4 running backs were almost constantly hurt. Your Dalvin Cooks, Kamara's, CMC's, Derrick Henry's. Do you think he would have finished the RB1 regardless?
It's a great question.
I think Derrick Henry would be putting up numbers right there with him because Derrick Henry had what?
Yeah. He was on pace to break records
at that point. Yeah, before he got hurt. So I think he would be in contention, but Jonathan Taylor's just been on fire.
I don't think so. I think that we're forgetting just how incredible the numbers Henry was putting up were just mind-boggling.
I think he was going to break Dickerson's record. He was on pace.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not.
Plus, he had the extra game to help out with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if the injuries, say if every running back I mentioned before was healthy. Would have Taylor I think Taylor would have been bumped into where Nick Chubb's spot would be, just because even when Nick Chubb is healthy, it's kind of been a little bit of a flip-flop. He's kind of he's touchdown dependent and he's not getting touchdowns. So I think Taylor would have probably slid right into like pick 5.
Well, if you're also saying that all running backs would just disregard all running backs are healthy, then you gotta say McCaffrey's also up there too.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, McCaffrey, Kamara, Derrick Henry, and Dalvin are still going to be ahead of him.
Yeah.
But I don't think Nick Chubb is going to be rated as highly as we did prior to the season.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, Jonathan Taylor would probably be there.
I don't even know if you rate McCaffrey. I think McCaffrey as an overall number 1 is done.
At this point, yeah.
2 years back to back with season injuries. You come back for a game or two, you leave again. They drafted Hubbard for a reason. I don't think now is Hubbard going to be the guy going forward? No, but I certainly see McCaffrey's workload being managed much more than what it has been.
It's going to be
the last couple of years.
And he shows that he can perform with a lesser workload as well. This is the thing. So he can do it. So I don't know why not.
But you're not going to draft him for first overall, hoping that he's going to be healthy, come back. I think he's going to be a middle of the pack first round pick. I have Joe Mixon going ahead of CMC next year.
I do too, honestly. Mixon's been really good. The only thing I'm worried with Mixon is because we've had this, I feel like we've been running into a cycle where Mixon plays really well, gets drafted high, gets hurt for almost the whole season. And then, so I'm just concerned about that. I feel like health is just a general concern. It's the nature of the beast as it is. And
also, just Derrick Henry was averaging 24.2 PPR points a game.
Jonathan Taylor's averaging 23.7. So it's not really that far off,
No, it's just going to be very tricky. I think Derrick Henry's still going to get picked top 5 regardless of what happens.
I think so too.
Because that injury was so unpredictable. Moving forward, I was going to start the show with this, but we're going to shed light on some news regarding just the NFL as a whole. Really, sports as a whole has been kind of ravaged by this. COVID. It's been doing some numbers, really. Unfortunately. Very sad. A lot of players, we just got obviously the news earlier today about Kevin Stefanski having COVID and probably will miss this Sunday's game. On a lighter side, Keenan Allen has just been taken off the COVID reserve and will probably most likely suit up.
Hope he doesn't.
You don't want Justin Herbert to play well? Anyways, he'll probably suit up this week. They just lost Baker Mayfield as well, the Browns, and they're already pretty depleted on that regard. I'm on a different note as well, just COVID. On a different note as well with COVID and just injuries as a whole, we also got the breaking news about star wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins being ruled out for the rest of the regular season with a sprained knee injury.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So if you have him for your fantasy playoffs, you're in trouble now.
I would look into Christian Kirk.
AJ Green's also another option too.
I would prefer AJ Green.
Do you think so? No, I like Kirk, to be honest.
Does Rondell Moore make an appearance now? Been waiting for this kid all year.
I mean, you also got to factor in that James Conner is also going to get a lot of passes, like usually is too.
Oh my God, that guy had the snack of his life on Monday.
If you told me James Conner would have been leading the league in touchdowns earlier in this year, I would have said you've been drinking absinthe. You're absolutely out of your mind.
No, makes no sense how he's doing this well, but you know what? That's fantasy.
I think that's just a credit to good team.
Yeah.
You don't play for the Steelers and you have a pretty good quarterback in Kyler Murray now.
Unless you're Lev Bell.
Even with
Le'Veon Bell got screwed, man. He bet on himself and it did not work.
Yeah, that's a bet that didn't cash out.
Even with DeAndre Hopkins this week, AJ Green still saw 10 targets and caught 7 of them for over 100 yards. So that's kind of why I like AJ. Like, we've seen AJ Green do it. Like, I know he's not in his absolute prime, but he's not the only option, so it's not like he's just going to get covered by their best corner. He's gone up against Detroit this week, so
I agree.
Might as well just put
he
him
could
up
be
there.
someone you can just play,
See what's up.
And moving back into COVID, the thing that I'm worried for just in terms of the Browns is not necessarily Baker, because you play Case Keenum and probably win a game. It's that they lost their whole O-line, pretty much.
Everybody.
They're running on backup offensive line. And that's terrible because you are one of the top rushing attacks in the NFL. So if you're a Nick Chubb owner, Nick,
I'm in trouble.
I also have Nick Chubb. No, I also have Nick Chubb. So I could say that it's not. As a Nick Chubb owner, it's concerning because he's going to get a hefty workload, but how often is it going to pan out if you don't have the proper protection and proper gaps to run up the gut with? So it's going to be worrisome, especially because he's not a pass-catching back like most other backs are that are like
He's
first
the
round picks.
workhorse. That's all it is for him.
And Kareem Hunt's out, so I feel like they're just going to be forcing it a lot to him.
I don't think Hunt comes back.
For the rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't think he comes back. He's week to week, but at this point, most leagues have about 3 weeks left in their playoffs. You know, you're already in the quarterfinals right now. Semis next week, finals the week after that. Week to week, I wouldn't. Even if Hunt comes back, there's no way he's 100%, and I don't think the Browns are going to be in it. I wouldn't count on him for the rest of the year.
No, I kind of agree on that. I just think the Browns are kind of a wreck, and I think they just really got the short end of the stick regarding COVID.
Yeah, that's a tough break for him.
It's a very much tough break.
Now is definitely the time. Like now we were talking about this as well, I'm realizing it myself. Now is the time you pick up your handcuffs. Like we talked about it early on in the season, but with everyone going down with COVID, like Justin, we were talking about it before we started recording here. You know, Justin Jackson with Austin Eckler. Now Austin Eckler did practice today, so that's not as likely. But you know, if you do have Antonio Gibson, let's say his back, what's his?
You need J.D.
McKissick?
No, not McKissick. The other guy. There's oh god, that's going to re-annoy me because I normally know people's names very well. There's another guy there who's
I have no idea.
Generic. Oh god, that's going to
We'll get it.
We'll get there. But anyway, it's like you just pick him up just in case something happens because you're in the fantasy playoffs now. Like realistically, you can drop certain players that weren't maybe droppable in the regular season because if you're not going to play them, what's the point in them being on your bench? And I think that as long as it's not someone who's an absolute star, I think it's definitely worth picking up someone who is going to who could really save your week. Like if I lose, you know, even though Mattson is on the COVID list, I'm keeping him in the league. I've got Dalvin Cook because, you know, let's just say Cook gets injured this week and Mattson's back next week. Cook's going to pop off. So I definitely think it's worth going in and trying to just grab your handcuffs.
Yeah, that's really important, Jack. I honestly couldn't agree more, and I just think that's, again, do your due diligence. That's really do your homework. We're going to cut into break right now. We'll discuss playoff outlook and other news, and of course, Nick's favorite segment, therapy. We'll be right back in a second.
Get ready, guys.
We are back. Woo!
Let's do it, boys!
I'm gone. I'm going home.
That is Carlos would have,
So, as we said, I can't with these hooligans. Sorry, they really just got me. Welcome back.
I'm not giving up on trees quite yet.
Y'all are something else. Anyways, welcome back to the Four Horsemen, the fantasy. Gil here alongside me, Nick, Carlos, and Jack. We just discussed the end of the regular season. But now that we're getting to the spicy stuff, we're talking playoffs, baby. We talking playoffs.
Playoffs? What are you talking about?
Let's go. Okay, let's freaking go. I'm so excited. I'm going to lose, but you know what? I'll take it. It's so much fun. Feels good to be back in playoffs, you know. Anyways, we're going to discuss quickly some outlooks, some pretty brief talking points. I have one that I really am intrigued about. This is going to be a really fun 3 weeks. I would say so myself, regardless if I don't make it or not. These are going to be fun to talk about. Just because it's the playoffs, and why not? All right, I'll get started with Jack this time. Let's see what you got.
So for me, I made the playoffs in all 3 of my leagues. No, actually, sorry, I'm going to say this. I've made the playoffs in 2 of my leagues. You know, I got the first round bye in our league. I was 12-2. I, unlike Carlos, continued to my hot start and just carried on.
Continue
going
your
up.
reign.
I can't wait for him to lose. Anybody but Jack.
Oh my God, he's gonna fall apart.
That normally is what happens though. Those 12-2 teams, or 13-1, 11-3, they do normally end up losing at some point. Anyway, so absolutely, yeah. So I made the playoffs in that league. So I got the first round bye. In another league, as I was saying earlier, I started 0-5, did not give up. went on an 8-1 run, and now I am the 4 seed in that league. I have a pretty tough matchup. I've got a matchup against Kamara and Mike Evans. Now, the last league, this is why it's a little bit up in the air. I'm the commissioner. It's a 10-man league. I'm a co-commissioner with someone else, and I guess I messed up, and I put the playoffs as 4 teams instead of 6. So what I did is I made it just week 16 and 17. So technically I'm not in the playoffs right now because, you know,
we have another week to fight.
We have another week to fight, and what's kind of rocky, I'm the 3 seed, but there's 3 of us that are 7 and 7. So if I lose and those other 2 teams win, then I will drop out. I have a lot more points scored than those guys, so I'm really hoping I can make it, because like my team is the second most points scored. There's a team who's 11 and 3 or something, and so I thought I had made it. I won this week. It was a huge week where, I don't know, there's been a bunch of my leagues that I'm in where like there's a bunch of teams that have all got the same record this year. I don't know why. And like this last week I was the 4 seed, but there was like 5 teams that were 6 and 8 or 6 and 7, sorry, and it all depended on who won and how many points by. So yeah, I've pretty much made them in all 3 of my leagues. I'm really excited. I feel like I did a good job as a manager this year. So yeah, I'm happy.
The only touchdown was well, he had 2 touchdowns, right?
I hope I don't only get 2 touchdowns. Let me tell you that. I will get a couple more than that this week. So yeah.
I'm excited, man. That's great. So basically, he just said, "I'm better than everybody else," and y'all just
watch out for me. Here I come.
I'm very modest. I'm modest.
Oh yeah, you're.
We're playing this game according to Master Jack's rules.
We are, man.
Yeah, this is Jack's world.
We're playing the Master Jack's world.
The British guy comes in and he goes 12 and 2 in the league. So what can I say?
45 moves in our league, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
That's what I mean. Man. You gotta
congratulations to that, man. You're putting it up.
You got to be on it.
All right, I'm gonna move us to Carlos. Give us something new.
It has been a very trying season this year for fantasy purposes on my end, as YouTube decides to play an ad as I'm talking about it. How embarrassing would it have been that I had been number 2 all year, and if I would have missed the playoffs, because I was in danger of falling out of playoffs in general with my completely embarrassing month of December / end of November, where I not only lost the 2nd seed after talking hot gibberish and fighting off Nick the whole time.
So you're saying he sold his soul to the devil?
He must have sold his soul.
I'm doing my thing over here, guys. I'm keeping it up.
Yeah, how that 2nd seed? You didn't even make the 2nd seed.
I missed it by 3 points, damn it.
3 points, not enough.
Nope.
But luckily, I don't have to say that I'm embarrassed by missing the. I'm gonna need that as a drop. Thanks. I get to save myself the embarrassment of not making the playoffs in our league with industry professionals, I would like to say. But I didn't have a good year overall. I made the playoffs in an 18-man league. It's my first 18-man league, so I am happy to hang my hat on that.
Congratulations.
That's
on
tough.
That. Yeah.
Is that 6
because
men?
On the waiver wire,
6 men in the
6 people made the playoffs, 6 people made the toilet bowl, and
nice.
Literally, what is that? 6. So another 6 don't have anything. Their season is over.
I'm sure they probably are happy. If you're in an 18-man league and you are not even making the toilet bowl, then you're having a terrible season.
Yeah.
Like you're picking up.
You have no
David
wins.
Johnson as your RB2 or something.
Here are the quarterbacks that are on the waiver wire. You have freaking Mr. Jets quarterback. What the hell's his name? Zach Wilson. Like, he's so bad I don't even remember who he is.
Quarterback.
Mr. Jets quarterback.
That's what we're gonna call him now.
Is this what we've come to with Jets quarterbacks?
Yeah.
I was thinking of Zach Davies from baseball. Like, that's how bad Wilson has been.
Mike White's on there. Watch out.
Oh God.
You know, Mike White would have been he would have been a week winner. If you had the foresight of picking up Wilson's replacement that 1 week. But you have Mike Glennon. I had picked up Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh God.
That's how bad an 18-man league is.
Teddy 2 gloves, baby.
But yeah, one injury can derail your entire season because I had Logan Thomas, so now I'm like picking up freaking Foster Moreau as a tight end. But I digress. I made the league and I made the playoffs in that league. I have a legitimate chance to actually do something because some bonehead dropped Miles Sanders earlier the year. Ooh. So now I have running backs galore.
Nice.
In that league where I have Sanders, I have Montgomery, I have people I'm not even gonna just keep going on that.
Yeah.
My only thing for fantasy playoff outlooks is if you were one of these unfortunate people that had McCaffrey or had a first round running back that went down, God bless you if you made the playoffs. because you should, or Dalvin, like in our case, Jack, we had Dalvin Cook struggles earlier in the year.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
Give yourself a pat on the back because there are a lot of managers that have not been able to navigate their first round mishaps or, just injuries. So if you made it to the playoffs, really well done. Whether you win or lose, great for you. But I said this last week, I'm going to keep beating the drum. Blow that fat budget, blow that waiver wire claim. There is no tomorrow if you lose at this point. You must go all in.
Mm-hmm. Someone that I want to grab and spend all my money on is Rashad Penny.
Yeah.
I feel like he is going to be an MVP.
I think you know what you have in Collins already. Like he's banged up. Seattle's got nothing to lose. Penny was a hot name last year and the year before that.
Throw him out there.
Let's go.
See what's up.
I have a question. Why was he available on waivers when I looked this morning in our league?
We're in a 10-man league.
That's a very.
I think if you're.
I didn't even know he was there.
I've made 45 claims.
Well, I didn't know he was there.
That's what I mean. You got to look, Nick. Come on, man.
Well, my three.
The smartest man alive!
It's true.
My three backs are Jones, Chubb, and Montgomery. Who else? Who am I
Who you dropping?
that? Who am I going to drop?
Who are you dropping?
No, wait, you don't have to drop one of them. Who's on your bench? You have bench spots as well, idiot.
I got Melvin Gordon over there. I can't drop. I got Devontae Smith. I could probably drop Julio Jones at this point. I'm not going to play Julio.
I'm going to go look at your team right now, and I'm going to tell you who you could have dropped.
Yeah.
Do I drop Antonio Brown? Like I feel like
I was saying the same thing.
Don't do it.
don't know. I don't think he's gonna get cut.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think he's gonna get cut. And and the moment will come where he doesn't get cut and you drop him, somebody else will snatch him, and then by that luck, you're playing him.
Speaking of drop, don't for playoff managers. Do one last bit of advice.
I could have dropped him.
Just because you're not going to use a player doesn't mean you need to drop him. Because a scavenger like me will pick him up. A la some guy dropped Kirk Cousins in my league. I only have Taysom Hill as my quarterback. I'm going to take Cousins. Cousins is not a great, quarterback in real life, but he's number 9 overall in terms of quarterbacks in Yahoo leagues.
He's serviceable.
So I will take him because in a case like this, Hill is going against Tampa. Now, I know Jack said he'd still start him, and I love Hill's rushing ability because that's the only reason he's been a QB1 these last 2 weeks. But what does Tampa do well? They stop the run.
That's true. And what looks good, like when you look at the Yahoo and you see the green, he's fourth. Tampa Bay are fourth against QBs. The reason it is because people have to pass on them. Taysom doesn't really do that. So it's like they're really good against QBs that pass the ball, but maybe not guys that
he's got issues with that finger. So he couldn't hold on to the ball. There was like 2-3 scenarios.
So
last week.
Would you guys play Russ? I've got Russell Wilson and Taysom Hill, and Russell Wilson's playing the Rams. That's why I'm.
You know what? In that case, I'd go Hill.
That's why.
I guess I go Hill because the Rams looked really good last week.
I played Russ the last 2 weeks, and Taysom sgored more than him both times.
Yeah,
isn't half the Rams team in the hospital right now with COVID?
16 of their players have COVID.
So I think they're banged up. You gotta look at it.
Is Aaron Donald still on the field?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, you're starting Hill.
Yeah. All right. That's a fair point.
That's really interesting. I will move it to Nick because I know he's probably got something stupid.
Oh yeah, watch out. Here we go.
So he knows he's got something stupid.
Oh, I know it. Here we go.
As he starts to stretch.
Give me 1 second.
Pull some.
Oh, that felt good. All right, so if you guys don't know this, I'm in 5 leagues, and I made the playoffs in 3.
God damn it.
I don't know how I made it in 3 with that name I botched years and years ago. Anyway, I expect to win them all. It's gonna happen.
You have no shot.
Shut up.
You have no shot in our league. You have no shot in our league.
And finally, Gil, you're going down this week. That's all I gotta say. I know I don't look at projections. I'm supposed to lose by 3 points.
Yahoo doesn't know what it's doing with projections.
No one
Projections
knows.
are bollocks.
I should have went undefeated if we were looking at projections.
Yeah.
And clearly that's not the case. Me going down to 5th.
No, you went.
No, not in our league because I was supposed to lose both times to you. And the good Lord intended it and willed it so.
But I think one of the main reasons why people will make their playoffs, and Jack was talking about this too, just make some moves. Like, don't just sit around and just think, oh, I'm out of it. I was 2-3, 2-4 in one of my leagues that I just made the playoffs in this year, and you just gotta keep on fighting. I mean, the fantasy season's so short. It sounds like he actually said that for a second if I didn't look. But
absolutely.
You just gotta keep on going with it. Like, fantasy, if you're trying to have fun with it, just keep going. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
I love that. That was nice, actually. Oh, God. Except for the part where you said I'm losing, because I'm not.
But you are, though. It's all right, though.
Just look from top to bottom.
That's what your team's going to look like over the weekend.
How'd that happen?
So, for me, I got a few scenarios. I'm in 4 leagues. I'm in playoffs in all of them.
Congrats.
So, thank you. I'm playing Nick. I think my lineup's pretty set on that one. Most injuries, I think my only concerns are DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson. That was good. And I have pretty much everyone else I want healthy. I just need Dak to get his act together. My concern is my money league, because I have Lamar Jackson and Terry McLaurin. They've both been hurt over this last weekend, and I probably would have made my game interesting had they both not nearly goose-egged. I mean, Terry had 0, but Lamar had like 1, and then he got hurt.
Terry got a concussion, though.
He also
In the fourth quarter.
didn't practice today. No, he didn't He didn't play the second half.
Oh, he didn't play the whole second half?
No,
Okay.
but he was targeted 4 times.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
That said, I got blessed by the lucky stars, but that for some reason the best quarterback available was Tua Tagovailoa. Ooh. And this goes to my point. The Miami Dolphins, we didn't discuss this, because you said the Eagles have a great schedule. Screw that, the Miami Dolphins have a better schedule. They got the Jets next week.
That's all you need.
They got the Jets this week. Mm-hmm. They got New Orleans the following week.
And then
they got Tennessee
right?
in week 17. I like that schedule.
Pick up Devontae Parker. Right?
Pick up your Devontae Parkers. Start Myles Gaskin, you two.
He's still in the COVID protocol.
Oh, yeah, true. That's true.
Malcolm Brown. He's going to come back to have the starting job to himself. Because Ahmed is out.
That's exactly what Malcolm Brown's going to say when he gets back.
I just need a reason to scream at you two. No, you got Tua, and you don't have a better quarterback right now. You play Tua. You got Mike Gesicki. I would consider it.
Oh God, I wish Gesicki was available in one league.
I'd consider it. I don't know if I would. Depends who your tight end is.
Yeah.
I'd consider it. Maybe even flex him.
Do I start Devontae Parker over Michael Gallup?
I'm in that same predicament. The thing was, I just dropped Devontae Parker to pick up Christian Kirk because of the D-Hop news.
Yeah,
quick question: is Jalen Waddle playing?
Yeah.
If he is,
he is.
That's also a thing you got to think about too.
It's the Jets.
No,
they're gonna get everything they want.
No,
I think
just
you still play
in general
Parker.
about Parker with Gallup.
Parker better than Gallup. That's the only move I'm stuck.
I go Gallup.
Waddle's going to play though.
Because I'm not benching Javonte Williams.
questionable.
Javonte Williams has been great the last 2 weeks.
I would
3 weeks.
side with Gallup because he's been reliable.
I will side with
Michael Gallup or Chase Claypool?
Parker.
Don't make me decide between Gallup and
This is the age-old
Claypool.
question of floor versus ceiling. I think Parker has a better ceiling. I think Gallup has a safer floor.
I would take the safer floor on this one, but it really depends how desperate are you. If your team looks really good, then I would go with the safer floor.
I'm scared this week.
Claypool's playing Tennessee.
I'm scared.
So
Gallup's facing the Giants.
How desperate are you?
But Cooper and Lamb are still healthy right
That doesn't
now.
change anything. Gallup still gets his.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
He got like 12 points when they were both
You know what?
healthy
Yeah,
last week.
I can't have my season come down to a Dolphin.
Yeah, no, don't do it.
I won't do it.
No, don't
Gallup it is.
Gallup it is. And yeah, I just think the Dolphins look like a good thing to snatch up on for these fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, I would start Tua immediately this week.
I would start Tua if you don't have a better quarterback. Like for me, like in my scenario, I have Lamar Jackson, and if he doesn't play, might actually be a blessing because they play the Packers. But yeah, I just think that'll be a better scenario for me if, God willing, that happens. We're gonna move into the best segment, my baby. My baby.
I've been waiting for this one.
Therapy.
I've been waiting.
Tonight.
Now, for those of you that have been listening to therapy or this podcast, at least at any point this season, that ones that I've been hosting, therapy is as simple as it sounds. We have issues. Let's make it clear. We got issues. Our mental health depends on how an imaginary team does week by week by week, and we're depending on these teams to wake the F up every Sunday. I might stretch with you, brother.
Nick is really stretching out right now. I wish you guys could see.
I'm just getting ready for
Get
this.
those lungs loose.
When we're simulcasted next year, listeners, you'll be able to see the shenanigans that Nick does.
Oh, God.
Just get ready for this sesh.
I want to save you for last.
Yep.
I think you need it last. Oh. Carlos, the floor is yours.
I just hate running backs. I hate running backs. No, okay, let me edit that point a little bit. Take a breath. I don't hate running backs. So I apologize to running backs all over the world, whether you're in Canada or you're in NCAA. I apologize to you. I hate top 5 running backs when you have a top 5 pick. Christian McCaffrey, I wish you well. I hope for a speedy recovery. I hate you. I'll never see you on my team again. I will never draft Christian McCaffrey. I will never trade for Christian McCaffrey.
Last door.
I'm very close to not touching a Panther ever again because DJ Moore has been pissing me off lately.
It probably bite you as well.
But man, we're getting it off the chest. Just no more Christian McCaffrey. Godspeed. Namaste. Because you will no longer
No,
be a thorn.
Namas go.
Namas go. You will no longer be a thorn in my side. Again, the last 2 years you wanted to just ram me with no KY. All right? On to Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, the jury is still out on you. Because you haven't been the second overall pick this year. But you came in deliciously last week with your separated shoulder and all. So right now, peace be with you, Dalvin Cook. But if I lose, pieces be with you, Dalvin Cook. I am going to rain down fire if I lose this week because Dalvin Cook wants to get hurt, quote unquote, again and miss a second half because, oh, my toe hurts or, oh, my arm hurts. You just need hands to hold the ball and run. And Mike Zimmer, stop doing stupid plays. But I digress. Derrick Henry, you've never been a problem before. This is the first year getting hurt for you. Peace be with you, my friend. Speedy recovery. No, there's no ulterior motive. I'm moving on from Derrick Henry. I think.
Do you got anybody else?
Who are the other 5? Who are the other top 5 picks?
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara. Kamara. You want to take a month off? You're another one. You and Cook again. Hold on. Peace be with you, because right now I have you both on my team.
Okay.
So it could be waiting for this, just for this playoff run. You guys might redeem your entire season. So we're good.
The 6 touchdown game's coming for Kamara. Just watch.
Bro, he's gonna boom.
No.
It better.
No, I hope it better because I'm using it because I got him.
No.
The very last therapy that I want to give off to is for everybody who picked up a Kansas City Chief and just thought you were going to immediately run your league. All you people who draft Patrick Mahomes in the first round, stop it. I hope you lose. I hope you're in the consolation bracket because you should not be taking a quarterback in the first round. You are fools. You ruin drafts for everybody else, for people like me who know how to draft, but no, Mahomes is coming off the first board. So some guy that shouldn't be available is available. So these number 10 to 12 teams are picking up super teams because you, being a moron, want to pick Mahomes 5th overall.
Wow.
No peace for you. Enjoy your consolation / season-ending defeat. I'm happy for you. Therapy ended.
If I picked up Mahomes in the 3rd,
at tie,
am I?
God damn.
Am I in trouble?
I'm not naming names, Ty. No, listen, third round is fine. No, I really.
No, that's fine.
Because I had Kelsey too.
I'd even give a mulligan for 2nd round because Mahomes has been that good. But I've been in 5 leagues. Mahomes went in the first round for 3 of them. That's unacceptable.
Yeah,
it doesn't help.
I've been in 2 drafts.
How do you people breed?
Yeah, no. Take a breath. I hope you got it all out.
I'm good, man. This is very cathartic for me. I really love this segment.
Of course. I'm glad we got it out. Let me also add, I didn't say it before, but this is pretty much a culmination of what we've all been dealing with all regular season. This is a lot of pent-up aggression. With that, I'm going to speak to the most aggressive person here, Jack.
That's not true at all. I
don't know what you're talking about. You're a pretty big rage monster. I'm kidding.
No,
all right, please, the floor is yours.
I've always find it difficult in therapy because and this really sounds like I'm actually in therapy right now. But
We get it. Your teams are good.
no, it's not that. It's not that at all.
Look at me, I'm so good.
And I'm British.
There's so much out of your control in fantasy football, and I accept that as a fantasy football manager. Now, are there things that annoy me? Absolutely. So I'll talk about a couple of them, but for the most part, I'm happy. I love fantasy football, and this is bad. This is bad for the show. This is bad. Gil's got his hand on his head right now. He want me to scream, and I can't do it.
Who invited this guy to the cookout?
These guys are ruining it for everyone. So things I'm mad about.
Do Brits have cookouts?
No.
It's a tea party.
No.
It's a tea party.
Barbecue. AJ Brown, that's a guy I'm mad about. I thought he was really frustrating to own. There's certain players that have been really frustrating to own this year, and I'll talk about Scary Terry as well, who's been inside the top 30 only 3 times this year, but people think he's been good. He has not been good. Even I know he went out this game, but anyway, AJ Brown has been in and out like an in and out burger. He's just that's really frustrated me because he's been back and forth. And honestly, what I think annoys me the most are how wishy-washy coaches are. They won't just tell us exactly what they're thinking. I hate it when a coach is, we're gonna get this guy 15 touches and he sees the ball twice. Or
just say Urban Meyer already. Come on.
Yeah, oh man.
There's no reason James Robinson should be having the week.
Absolutely. And Urban Meyer comes out and he says, I don't know. I don't really control the running back snap count. Then what are you doing as a head coach?
You're the coach.
What are you doing?
If there's
then?
any one person who does control it, it's you. It's you. I thought therapy was supposed to be cathartic. I'm angry again.
No, it just that's what annoys me is that
you'll walk out of this room feeling a lot better, Carlos.
But anyway, that's me. That's me.
Well done.
That's all I've got.
I hated it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you got it out.
Yeah. That's all I've got.
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it not brief. This has been pent-up frustration for 14 weeks. The Washington football team. Up and down.
Get a name.
Busts.
Get a name. Literally.
Busts.
Yeah.
Let me get started with Antonio Gibson. This man has been dog water for weeks.
Do not insult my dog's water.
Okay, fair enough. He has been gorilla poo-poo for weeks.
I'll allow it.
He has been horse poo-poo for weeks. He has been dinosaur poo-poo for weeks.
And dinosaurs don't even exist anymore.
And they don't even exist. You realize how rare this is?
That's some extinct poop right there.
It's dried out.
Things.
It somehow still exists. They still examine it for no reason. Like what? What the heck? And then he has 2 good weeks. 2. And they said, he's an RB1 again. Fire him up. Put him in the lineups.
Yeah.
Nope. 4-point dud against the Cowboys.
That shin fracture is still bothering him, man.
Guess where Antonio Gibson is in the season? Like where he's ranked?
32.
I'm gonna go 35.
Carlos?
Running backs have been so bad this year. I'm gonna go 28.
14.
God, Jesus. How?
Out of here.
How in the world is Antonio Gibson 14?
My mic came off. Okay.
14?
Back to what I was saying.
Jesus.
It makes no sense.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't think it's been
Chunk
that bad.
games. Chunk games.
I'm disagreeing with
Okay.
Gil in therapy, man.
You know what you're talking about? Ajay, you go.
Let me finish. Let me finish. This is I'm having my moment.
All right, go for it. Sorry.
We're gonna move on. I got a couple more on the football team. Logan Thomas.
That's what I was going to talk about. I'm glad
Because I think you brought him up earlier in the year.
Oh, God. What
This dude plays pretty decently for maybe the first 3 weeks. Gets hurt maybe first play of the game against Atlanta. Then they rely on who? Ricky Seals-Jones at the tight end.
Who's also banged up.
Who is also banged up.
Now do the sound for Jones.
Jones. It's like a Pokemon. So Jones. So but the problem here is he comes back from injury, plays a decent game, and then gets hurt again.
This guy can't stay healthy either, man.
He's the Christian McCaffrey tight end.
Are you kidding me?
I know we shouldn't be laughing at him because that's terrible.
Are you kidding me?
It's so true.
And last, but certainly not least, I feel bad for whoever's editing this, Terry McLaurin. Woo, I can't get started. Where do I begin? This man was supposed to be a glimmer of shining hope. This man was supposed to be a diamond in the rough for this football team because he was branded as quarterback proof. Because Ryan Fitzpatrick goes down with an injury week 1.
You know your fantasy. You know your team is terrible when you're relying on Ryan Fitzpatrick as your quarterback to save your fantasy production.
Oh, God, man.
On top of that,
Full Fitz.
last season he did well with Heineke, Alex Smith, and Kyle Allen.
How?
This year, Taylor Heineke, he was supposed to be a baller. He was supposed to make Terry look amazing week after week after week. And you know what he does? He does every 4 games. And then he plays great. And then he duds every 4 games. I don't know when he's gonna be good.
Would he have played good with Fitzmagic?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. If Fitzmagic stayed healthy, I think he would
Because
have
he's
been.
not afraid to throw the ball
Take
downfield.
a
great
guess where
flex.
Terry McLaurin is on the season.
He's like number 9.
Yeah, I
Yeah, guess, come on.
know. 16.
I'm gonna go with 20.
You guys have completely overshot it now because of the last one where it's 30.
I want 30?
No. You guys were like 30 and it was 14. Now you guys are like the other way.
Yeah, I'm like,
What is it?
I'm like 24.
23.
Okay.
So he's still a wide receiver.
Wow.
It was in my head.
He's a wide receiver
Okay, let me
too.
finish off. With this closing statement. WFT, more like WTF.
Oh, God. Drops mic.
What the F?
What the horse noise? I don't know if I want to rely on them again. I can't say I'll never draft Terry again. Lord knows what they'll be like next year if they actually get a competent quarterback, if Riverboat Ron decides to actually be consistent with his freaking offense. But my God, I was sold so high on Terry McLaurin as a good 3rd round pick, and he has been terrible.
Yeah.
You could have had AJ Brown.
Guess where AJ Brown is in the season. No.
Enough, damn it. All right. Anyways, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now, the grand finale. Nick, take it away. Send us home.
All right, guys. If you're a listener, a frequent listener to this show, you know who I'm going to start off with. Miles Gaskin out here.
God damn, not again.
I just can't understand what happened there. Miles Gaskin, for the first 5, 6, 7 weeks, was total garbage. Hated him, wanted nothing to do with him. So you know what I did? I traded him in both leagues.
Oof.
That I had him. I traded him in both leagues. I traded away Miles Gaskin for someone I also don't like, Julio Jones. You guys told me this whole time Julio Jones is just a decoy, he's an old guy, he's never going to play. How many games did he play this year? Little nugget.
I think 8 on 9.
8 years. But at that point, what did he do in those games that he played for you? Absolutely nothing. And guess who had him in 3 leagues? Julio Jones did nothing for me. And I miss my music. It's okay though. I'll keep going with this. Julio Jones did nothing. Miles Gaskin did absolutely nothing. But you know who I should have picked up? Jonathan Taylor. I've said it so many times this year. Jonathan Taylor is just someone that I said all offseason, oh, he's going to be terrible. Quentin Nelson's banged up. He had such an easy schedule last year. Marlon Mack's going to be in here. Hines is in there. There's no possible way that Jonathan Taylor's going to be good. I said it to myself the whole time. I said, I want nothing to do with this guy.
Let it out.
But this man showed up. Did everything he had to do. And he's been so consistent. Besides the first 2 weeks, of course. But after that, he's just been putting up such amazing numbers and I face off against him almost every other week. Just because I don't have him on my teams. None of my teams.
He took it personally. He took it personally.
He heard me. He heard me and said, you know what? Nick Romeo.
Oh my God, Nick Romeo.
Nick Romeo.
More like Nick Romeo.
It was just over after that. So you know what, guys?
It's okay, because if I beat you, I'll say it was for JT.
So JT. And on that note, guys, I'm done. Dropped a couple F-bombs in there, so whoever's editing this week, good luck.
But said.
Thank you, guys.
I want to quickly, first off, that was great. I'm going to quickly shed onto a more serious note. More on a more serious note. This has been a very, very terrible tragedy. One of the NFL's own, Demaryius Thomas, passed away at the age of 33 this past Thursday, shortly after the end of the game on Thursday between the Vikings and the Steelers. They just came out with the news from TMZ. I just want to mention what we don't know. Many of the details right now is public, but I want to mention how much of an impact he left on us football fans.
Yeah.
And I think he will always be remembered as an all-around amazing player, but even more so, an amazing individual. And I think that's what I most importantly want to take away from this, is that he constantly, everyone that he's been around has constantly touted him as an amazing person. And I think that's the most important thing. If you guys have anything else to say, now is your time. The floor is yours. Anybody say anything?
I do have one thing I want to say about Demaryius Thomas. He was one of the reasons why I got into football when I was younger. That play with him and Tim Tebow against the Steelers was the play that got me into football, and that was one of the biggest reasons why I have the love for the sport. So I just rest in peace, Demaryius, and I hope prayers and everything to your family and everyone who knew you. So
yeah, it's a terrible tragedy. You guys have both put it eloquently. He's just what's a bigger tragedy? He's just still so young.
Yeah,
right. He was 33.
Fresh out of football. He
just retired.
I'm older than him. That's crazy. You can tell a lot about a person about the company that they keep, and the fact that so many people spoke so glowingly about him off the football field. The amount of charity work that he did, and just overall a great human being to be around. Like, you walk into a room and he just lights it up, especially with all the personal challenges he had to face growing up with his mother and his grandmother. It's just so sad, so you feel for his family. I hope everybody involved, does find peace and not necessarily closure, but, time is able to kind of soften that blow. So certainly my condolences to the family.
It's pretty brutal. I only started watching football when I first moved over here in 2015. So the Broncos made the Super Bowl 2016 and won it, and that was my first time really watching Demaryius Thomas. He was just amazing. I remember having him in a league early on in my fantasy career and stuff, and loving him. And I think it speaks volumes. Is like, you saw what Denver did at the start of that game against the Lions, the delay of game penalty, and they had one less man on the field, and it was Demaryius Thomas's position, and they didn't line up that receiver. They had a delay of game penalty, and the Lions declined the penalty, obviously, because of the situation in the game and stuff. But I've reading a lot about Emmanuel Sanders and stuff, and how he just said he was just his best friend. Emmanuel Sanders is really beat up about this and stuff, and a lot of people said that when Demaryius Thomas talked, which was not a lot, everyone listened. Everyone was dialed into what he was having to say, and those kind of people are some of the best people in the world, because that whatever they have to say, it's from the heart, and they really mean it, and sometimes people just talk and it doesn't really go in and stuff, but DT was a beast. So yeah, condolences to his family.
Yeah, that was a really great gesture by the Broncos. I thought that was great. I also need to add, Von Miller had a sticker on the back of his helmet too to commemorate him.
Yeah, he was a best friend of DT, I think, as well.
Yeah, and with that, we're going to wrap up the show. Again, give us a follow on Instagram, the number 4 Horsemen of Fantasy. I've been Gilbin Hamu, alongside me, Nicholas Romeo, Carlos Ortiz, and Jack Hopkins. Guys, good luck in this first week of playoffs.
Yeah. Not too much luck.
Throw them 4s up. Again, follow us on the gram. Please give us a subscribe. Have a great weekend.
Peace.